They're coming with a ring, but before you say, yes, heaven is reaching for your attention. You did not stumble onto this message by chance. You did not click this title by accident. There is a pull in your spirit, a pause in your chest, a quiet tension you can't fully explain, and God is using that to draw you here. Your heart is standing at a doorway. On one side there is excitement, the promise of a future, of weddings and photographs and families smiling. On the other side there is a still, serious whisper saying, slow down. Look again. Don't move faster than my peace. My beloved soul, this is for you. You may sense that a proposal is close. Maybe you already know the ring is coming. Maybe you've already been asked. Maybe the ring is already on your finger, and yet something in you feels unsettled. On the outside, it seems like the season you prayed for. On the inside, you're not fully at rest. Listen with your heart as much as your ears. Don't rush through this. Don't skim. Let each word sit with you, because this might be the conversation that shifts the entire course of your life. The ring is not the destination. They are coming with a ring. A ring looks like an answer. A ring looks like destiny. A ring looks like security. But a ring is only a symbol. It is not a guarantee of peace. It is not a shortcut to maturity. It is not a substitute for character. God is not impressed by jewelry. Heaven is not moved by timelines. Your Father is not swayed by pressure from family, culture, or the ticking of a biological clock. He is moved by truth. He is moved by alignment. He is moved by what will protect your soul 10 years from now, not just what feels good today. My beloved soul, not every ring is wrong. But not every ring is right. And God loves you too much to let you step into a forever built on temporary emotion. You have waited. You have cried. You have asked God, when is it my turn? And now that your turn seems to be here, it's easy to feel like you must grab it before it disappears. But hear this clearly, God does not tell His children, take whatever comes first or you'll miss your only chance. That is fear talking, not faith. That is desperation, not destiny. God doesn't move through pressure. You might feel it right now, pressure from your age. Pressure from family members asking, so when are you getting married? Pressure from social media, where it seems like every month another friend is engaged. Pressure from the person you're with, saying, why do you need more time? Don't you love me? But the God who created you does not drive you with pressure. He leads you with peace. He does not hide truth behind grand gestures. He does not rush you so fast that you cannot breathe, cannot think, cannot pray. He does not call you into covenant by using fear as the foundation. If it is really from God, it can stand in the light. Not just the soft light of candles at dinner. Not just the filtered light of Instagram highlights. But the harsh, honest light of reality. My beloved soul, pause and ask yourself, when I think about this ring, do I feel grounded or do I feel pushed? When I imagine saying, yes, do I feel deeper peace or deeper confusion? Is my excitement constantly wrestling with an uneasiness I haven't dared to name? Excitement is loud. It shows up in butterflies and daydreams. Peace is quieter. It shows up in the calm that remains even after the butterflies leave. Right words, wrong foundation. They might be saying all the right things to you now. I'll never leave you. I'm ready to change. You're the only one I've ever truly loved. I know I've made mistakes, but marriage will make me serious. Words can be beautiful. Promises can feel holy. Tears can be sincere. But heaven is not only watching what they say. Heaven is watching what they live. My beloved soul. Take a gentle, honest look. Do their apologies lead to actual change, or just another cycle? Do their promises show up in daily actions, or only during emotional moments? Do they keep their word when no one is watching, or only when they fear losing you? Do they treat you with consistent respect, or do they honor you sometimes and belittle you at others? Marriage does not magically rewrite someone's character. It magnifies who they already are. A ring will not create honesty. A vow will not manufacture integrity. A ceremony will not birth emotional safety that does not already exist in seed form. God is not trying to embarrass you. He is trying to protect you from a lifetime of loneliness while lying next to someone every night. Discernment versus overthinking. You might keep telling yourself, I'm just overthinking. Everyone has doubts. Maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I'm afraid of commitment. There is a difference between overthinking and discernment. Overthinking keeps you spinning in fear about things that are not real. Discernment is that quiet tightening in your spirit when something is truly off. Overthinking creates imaginary problems. Discernment highlights real patterns. My beloved soul, what has your spirit been trying to tell you? Have you noticed how certain conversations always end the same way, with you apologizing, even when your needs were reasonable? Have you noticed how your boundaries keep getting pushed, one small compromise at a time? Have you noticed how often you leave their presence feeling smaller, weaker, more confused about yourself? This is not about demanding perfection. This is about recognizing direction. Where is this connection really leading you? Closer to God or farther? Closer to your own God-given identity or more entangled in confusion? God's voice is not always a loud thunder. Many times it is a persistent unease you cannot justify away. When you feel it, don't silence it with fantasies of a perfect wedding. Don't drown it in pictures of rings and honeymoon destinations. Keep listening. The signals hidden in the small moments. We often wait for a big, dramatic sign from God, a dream, a vision, a prophetic word. But most of the time, God speaks through what you already see daily, if you are willing to be honest. Notice the small things. When you share something important to you, do they lean in or scroll on their phone? When you say, "This hurt me," do they own it or explain it away? When you say, "I need time to process," do they give space or increase pressure? Look at how they handle inconvenience. Look at how they speak about people who can't do anything for them. Look at how they treat waiters, their parents, children, animals. Love that is safe doesn't only show up when it's romantic. It shows up when it's inconvenient, when it's boring, when it costs something. My beloved soul, marriage is not just shared romance. It is shared bills, shared stress, shared disappointments, shared late nights with sick children, shared seasons when one of you is not fun to be around. If you see selfishness now, it will not shrink after the wedding. It will grow. If you see a lack of empathy now, it will not vanish after the honeymoon. It will deepen. God is showing you previews, not to scare you, but to equip you. God's mercy in delay and discomfort. You may feel frustrated because everything seems to be taking longer than you expected. Perhaps the proposal keeps getting delayed. Perhaps their family is dragging their feet. Perhaps doors that should open easily seem strangely heavy. Sometimes the delay is not the enemy. Sometimes the delay is mercy. Delay gives you time to see reality beyond the excitement. Delay exposes whether they are consistent or only intense for short seasons. Delay reveals whether their pursuit is rooted in love or in their fear of losing you. My beloved soul. When heaven wants to protect you, God will often slow you when everything else is trying to speed you. Do not mistake divine caution for demonic attack. Not every closed door is from the enemy. Some closed doors are from a Father who sees a cliff you cannot see. Pay attention, too, to the discomfort inside you when you picture the long term. Not the dress. Not the videos. Not the honeymoon. But the Monday mornings. The disagreements about money. The way they handle stress. The way they respond when you are weak, sick, or failing. If the thought of doing daily life with them fills you with dread, heaviness, or constant anxiety, don't ignore that. You are not called to endure a lifelong sentence of emotional survival in the name of being grateful someone chose you. You are not in a race the world is loud about timelines. You should be married by this age. You should have children by that age. You should be settled by now. But your life is not a competition. God is not comparing your timeline to anyone else's. He is not shaming you for how long it has taken. He is not saying, if you don't say yes to this one, you'll never get another chance. Fear of being alone has pushed many into marriages that felt like a shelter but became a prison. My beloved soul, temporary solitude is far kinder than permanent misalignment. Being single for a few more years is far lighter than spending decades wishing you had listened to your first hesitation. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being prepared. God is not just writing a love story. He is also protecting a life story. Pay attention to your own transformation. Sometimes the clearest sign from God is not how they are acting, but how you are changing around them. Have you noticed that you laugh less? That you censor yourself more? That you second-guess your opinions constantly? That you walk on eggshells, carefully picking every word so they won't be upset? This is not what love from God looks like. Love from God allows you to breathe fully, not shallowly. It invites your voice, not your silence. It celebrates your growth, not your shrinking. Ask yourself, am I becoming more like who God says I am, or am I becoming a version of myself I don't recognize? Does this connection nurture my calling, or does it scare me away from my own potential? Do I feel safe to share my dreams, or do I hide them because I fear they will not understand or support them? My beloved soul, love that comes from God will not punish your growth. It will not resent your healing. It will not require you to break what God repaired in you just to keep someone close. Never mistake control for care. There is a kind of attention that can feel like care at first, but underneath is control. They always want to know where you are. They become irritated when you have plans without them. They speak negatively about your friends or family to isolate you for your own good. They are only truly soft and loving when you agree completely. They might dress it up as, "I just love you so much. I just want you all to myself." But control is not protection. Possession is not love. God's love gives you room to be you. Manipulation squeezes you into a smaller and smaller version of yourself. Notice how they handle disagreement. Can you say, "I don't see it that way," without everything turning into war? Can you say, "I need space today," without being punished emotionally? Can you say, "No," and still be treated with respect? If you cannot do those things now, you will not suddenly be able to do them later. My beloved soul, marriage is not meant to be a subtle cage. God is not preparing you for bondage. He is preparing you for a union where His presence is welcome in every room of your shared life. How they respond to your pause tells the truth. One of the clearest revelations you will ever see is how a person reacts when you say, "I need time to think. I need to pray. I need to ask some difficult questions." If they truly love you with God's kind of love, they may feel disappointed, but they will still respect you. They will not weaponize your hesitation against you. They will not call you ungrateful, disloyal, or confused just because you seek clarity. But if the moment you ask for time their tone changes, if they guilt you, saying, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't need to think so hard," if they suddenly turn cold to punish you emotionally, if they threaten to walk away to pressure a yes out of you, then understand, God is showing you who they are. A person who cannot honor your discernment before marriage will not protect your heart inside marriage. My beloved soul, love that is safe does not fear your wisdom. Love that is genuine welcomes your questions. Love that is real feels relieved that you are not entering lightly. The difference between faith and fantasy: you may have created a version of them in your mind, the version who will magically stop lying once you are engaged. The version who will become emotionally available once you are married. The version who will suddenly discover spiritual leadership after the honeymoon. That version exists in your imagination, not in reality. Faith does not mean making up a new personality for someone and hoping marriage will deliver it to you. Faith means trusting what God is actually revealing, not what you wish were true. Fantasy clings to potential while ignoring patterns. Wisdom notices potential but makes decisions based on patterns. What has their pattern been? Do they run from accountability? Do they dismiss wise counsel? Do they show up differently depending on who's watching? If you have to constantly explain away their behavior to friends, spiritual leaders, or to yourself, you are working harder than truth ever asks you to. My beloved soul, God is not asking you to chain your future to maybe one day, when the one day has never come. He is inviting you to make decisions rooted in what is, not just what if. Obedience before understanding: you may be waiting for a dramatic answer from God, yes, marry them, or no, leave them. But often, God simply gives you a nudge. Wait. Slow down. Look again. Obedience often comes before full understanding. You may not know yet whether this relationship is meant to end or to be purified. But you do know that God is asking you not to rush. Can you trust Him enough to obey that simple instruction? When you follow that nudge, when you say, "I need more time, I need deeper counsel, I need clearer answers," three things happen: the performance fades. The pressure is revealed. The truth surfaces. If they are not truly ready, they will grow tired of pretending. If their interest was rooted more in ownership than in love, it will show. If their timeline was about fear and ego, not about God's leading, it will unravel. My beloved soul, this is not God trying to steal happiness from you. This is God trying to give you joy that doesn't evaporate after the photos fade. When God separates, it is also a blessing if, as you wait and watch, the connection begins to crumble, if they pull away when you hold your boundaries. If arguments increase when you insist on respect. If they choose distance instead of growth. Do not despise that. It will hurt. It will feel like loss. It may even feel like betrayal. But sometimes the greatest mercy is who does not stay. You may cry. You may grieve the future you imagined. You may feel like you are starting over. Yet heaven sees something you cannot see yet, the late nights you would have spent wondering why you were never enough. The years you would have wasted trying to fix what you did not break. The confusion you would have carried while pretending everything was fine. God is not only sparing you from pain. He is also preserving your capacity to love in a healthy way later. My beloved soul, endings guided by God are not failures. They are redirections. You are not being punished by a breakup or a broken engagement. You are being repositioned. When God confirms, it is peaceful. On the other hand, if this relationship truly is from God, if, during your pause, they honor your process. If they show humility instead of pride, listening instead of defending. If they seek counsel, healing, growth, not just to keep you, but because they desire to be whole before God. Then you will notice something: peace will grow, not shrink. Clarity will increase, not fade. Questions will still exist, but they will no longer feel like warnings. They will feel like normal, workable concerns between two willing hearts. You will feel a quiet yes begin to settle inside you, not because you are afraid of losing them, but because you have seen enough fruit to trust the tree. My beloved soul, what is from God does not demand that you abandon your discernment. What is from God shines brighter the more honestly you examine it. You will not have to convince yourself. You will not have to numb your spirit. You will not have to call chaos normal, just to make it through. God's confirmations are not always loud, but they are steady. Your future deserves truth, not compromise. This moment is not just about romance. It is about your destiny. Who you marry will shape your emotional atmosphere. Will influence your spiritual walk. Will affect your children, your calling, your health, your finances, your daily joy. A ring is not just a pretty circle on your finger. It is the doorway into a covenant that touches every part of your being. Your future deserves truth. Not half-truths. Not illusions. Not constant excuses. It deserves someone who can walk beside you toward God, not pull you away from yourself. My beloved soul. Do not call your fear of being alone faithfulness. Do not call your silence loyalty when it is really self-abandonment. Do not call your dismissal of your own pain maturity when it is really denial. God is not glorified by your quiet suffering in a relationship He never asked you to stay in. He is glorified when you trust His voice even when your emotions are screaming for shortcuts. The other side of saying, wait, if you choose courage right now, if you say, I will not answer from pressure, I will respond from peace, what waits on the other side? Relief. Clarity. A deeper walk with God. You will learn to hear His voice more clearly because you honored it when it cost you something. Your self-trust will begin to heal. Your boundaries will become stronger but kinder. Your identity will root itself more deeply in God, not in the approval of one person. And when the right connection does stand before you, whether it is this person transformed and truly aligned, or someone entirely different, you will recognize it not just by excitement but by the rest that comes with it. You will not be lost in confusion. You will not be afraid of asking hard questions. You will be able to say, yes, with your whole heart, not just with the part that is lonely. My beloved soul, the courage to wait now will save you from countless tears later. You are not missing out by choosing wisdom. You are making room for a love that can actually last. You will not miss what is yours. Fear says, if you don't grab this now, you'll never get another chance. God says, no good thing will I withhold from those who walk uprightly. Fear says, this is as good as it gets for someone like you. God says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Fear says, they'll leave if you don't say yes quickly. God says, what I have joined together, no one can separate. You do not have to cling to what God has to constantly warn you about. You do not have to beg to be loved in the way He freely gives. My beloved soul, you will not miss your destiny by honoring divine red flags. You will not lose what is truly meant for you by prioritizing peace over pressure. You will not be left behind for choosing obedience instead of rushing. God knows how to bring the right person to you at the right time in the right way. Your heart is precious to God. Maybe no one ever taught you how valuable you are. Maybe you've stayed in harmful connections because you believe that's all you deserve. Maybe you've accepted disrespect because deep down you thought, at least someone wants me. But the cross is God's eternal statement that you are worth more than, at least. You are worth more than crumbs of attention. You are worth more than conditional love. You are worth more than, you'll do for now. Your Father did not send His Son to die so you could end up in chains wrapped in the language of romance. He sees your tears. He hears the prayers you've whispered while pretending to be fine. He knows the war between your longing for companionship and your need for safety. He is not blind to what this choice will mean years from now. My beloved soul, God is not trying to keep you from marriage. He is trying to keep you for the right marriage. Trust the pause if, as you have listened, your chest has loosened even slightly, that is not an accident. If your mind feels a bit clearer than it did at the beginning, that is not coincidence. If you feel like someone finally put words to what you couldn't name, that is not just psychology. That is the Spirit of God gently placing light on a path that could have stayed dark. Trust the pause. Before you say yes to a ring, say yes to God's process. Say yes to more time. Say yes to honest conversations. Say yes to counsel from wise, healthy, spiritually mature voices. Say yes to the uncomfortable work of facing truth. You are not weak for needing clarity. You are not too much for asking questions. You are not selfish for wanting to protect your future peace. You are being wise. You are honoring what God has placed inside of you. You are letting heaven lead instead of letting fear drive. My beloved soul, they may be coming with a ring, but your Father is coming with light. Listen to the light. If this love is truly from Him, it will not run from the light. It will shine in it. And if it fades when the light is turned on, let it go with open hands, because something better, something safer, something God-aligned is already being prepared. You are not alone in this crossroads. He is standing right beside you. He will walk with you into whatever decision you choose, but He is also lovingly, firmly whispering, choose peace. Choose truth. Choose me first. Don't rush ahead of His voice. Don't silence your own spirit to please others. Don't let a ring speak louder than your Redeemer. They're coming with a ring, but God wants to open your eyes before you accept.